Good afternoon and welcome to Dorset Council's Licensing Subcommittee. My name is Councillor Emma Parker and I'm Chairman of Dorset Council's Licensing Committee, but we do need to elect a chairman for this hearing today.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Councillor Parker to chair the meeting.
Thanks, councillors. What I will do now, I will get everybody to introduce themselves, okay? And I will start with my fellow councillors.
Councillor Kate Weller.
Councillor Mike Barron, ward member for Corfmullen.
Thank you, councillors. I will now move on to our officers.
Thank you, Chair. I'm the Licensing Team Leader, Aileen Powell.
Licensing Officer, Catherine Miller.
Elaine Tibble, Democratic Services, and I'm clerking.
Phil Crowther, I'm the Legal Advisor.
Jane Williams, Environmental Health.
Charlie Harris, Brady Farm.
And Paul Squalia, Brady Farm.
Thank you. Okay, thanks for that. We will now move on to agenda item 2. Do we have any apologies?
No, there's no apologies.
Thank you. Councillors, do you have any declarations of interest?
None at all.
Okay. Do we have any urgent items?
No.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to the objection for the 10s that we're here for today, and I will now hand over to Aileen, who is going to outline it for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This is a hearing to decide a temporary event notice to extend the licence at Brady Farm. The events at Brady Farm normally take place across the weekend. It normally runs from a Friday to early on a Monday morning. Mr. Harris has been running these festivals now for a number of years. As the Platinum Jubilee Bank holiday falls on a Thursday, Mr. Harris has served a temporary event notice to allow his festival occurring over that weekend to occur on the Thursday, as well as taking in the more traditional weekend. The 10 was modified so that there is no overlap with the licence, and the licensable activities on the 10 will take place between 12 o'clock and 23:45, not right over the night. Environmental Protection have served an objection notice requesting that some of the conditions that are on the premises licence are attached to the temporary event notice. Now, this can only be done at a subcommittee at a hearing. After hearing from all the parties, the subcommittees have 3 options. They can allow the temporary event notice to continue without conditions. They can allow the temporary event notice and serve a notice putting the conditions from the licence onto the temporary event notice, or they cannot permit the event to take place and serve a counter notice. No modifications of the times or activities can be made to this 10 now that we are at a hearing to decide it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillors, do you have any questions for Aileen?
None at all.
No? Okay. Mr. Harris, do you have any questions at this time for Aileen? Jane, do you have any questions for Aileen?
I have no questions.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, we'll now come to you as the applicant. Obviously, we've got everything in front of us for what you've applied for. Obviously, there has been conversations with environmental health with some of the conditions that they would like to see attached. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Happy with all the conditions as if it was the licence. The bank holiday moved, and it just kind of threw a bit of a spanner in the works for what we usually do. So I'm happy as if it was the licence. So.
Okay, thank you. Councillors, do you have any questions for Mr. Harris?
None at all, thank you.
Aileen, do you have any questions? Thank you.
No, thank you, Chair.
Jane, do you have any questions for Mr. Harris?
No, I'm fine, thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. I will now move on to our representative for environmental protection, and that's Jane. Jane, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. In bringing the objection to your attention, it's purely to add the conditions related to noise for the Breedy Gate licence. Mr. Harris and I had a long conversation to put that objection together to you. As Aileen explained, it's not something that we can agree outside of this format. It has to be through the licensing subcommittee. And that's basically it in a nutshell, really. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, do you have any questions for environmental protection,
No,
Jane?
none.
Mr. Harris, do you have any questions for Jane?
No, I don't.
Aileen, do you have any questions? Okay, thank you. I haven't got it yet. Just one point I would like to just touch on. You mentioned the conditions that are on your existing licence. Is that something you would offer up, to have those conditions taken onto the TENS as well, if we were to be minded to grant it, as well as the conditions that obviously Jane has come up with?
It's just moving how we work, just moving the date to a Thursday rather than, well, we've never, the licence isn't for a Thursday because it was always Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But Thursday, it would assume, appear.
Thank you. Okay. I am now going to give you all the option to sum up. If you've got anything else that you want to add to help us make our decision, and I am going to sum up backwards, so I am going to start with you, Jane. Jane, do you have anything to add to summing up?
I've nothing to add. I put my point of view in the document that was attached to the agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, do you have anything that you'd like to add to sum up? Aileen, do you have anything that you'd like to add to sum up?
Thank you, Chair. Just to say that this is an anomaly of the Licensing Act in that we have to have this hearing to decide something that's already been agreed. There is no other way around this, I'm afraid.
Thank you for that, Aileen. Okay, so with that in mind, we are now going to take a vote to go into exempt business. Well, we will make our decision. Our decision will be sent out to you. I believe, Aileen, you're going to send it out via email? Yes, as soon as our decision has been made. Obviously, it's generally within 5 working days that you will get the decision notice. And obviously, if you're not happy with the decision that we make, then you do have a right to appeal within 21 days to Weymouth Magistrates Court. I will just now, before we go into exempt, I will ask Phil, our legal officer, if we've covered all legal proceedings.
Sorry, yes, Chair.
Thank you. Councillors, can we have a vote to go into exempt business? Yeah. All good with that, Kate? Yeah, okay. Okay, I will draw this part of the meeting to a close. You are now free to go. We will make our decision, and Aileen will email it over to you. Okay? Thank you for attending.
Thank you.